Hi everyone. So we actually they are from Apas, WebEye, Emobi, who all of them they gave a keynote on what they are doing about their business. So the purpose, the idea of this panel, which is the last session of this morning, is to let them share more concrete experience, China experience, and concrete ideas, business ideas, so that to make Israeli audience understand better how to work with Chinese companies. Maybe I would suggest you to start with Shan from Emobi. So actually, she just arrived a few hours ago.
Yeah.
And it's also her first trip to Israel.
Yeah.
So you can imagine, a few hours ago, I landed in Tel Aviv airport just for catching up this conference. Yeah.
Thank you guys. Yeah, so I'm sorry I missed the last 2 days trip, so maybe I need to learn more from you guys. So what I can share for you guys is about, I think, the China story, especially China Emobi story. But I think overall, you guys should know what happened in China for last year. As our ambassador just mentioned, our GDP is still very strong, like 60.6, and also like from the guy from the Signal Wave. Right? Yeah. So he mentioned Shenzhen. So you guys know Shenzhen will be a very big economy in China, and for the last 3 years, the GDP of Shenzhen is greater than Hong Kong, and for the estimation this year, so greater than Singapore. But Shenzhen is not the biggest one in China, right? Beijing and Shanghai is much more bigger than them. But China do not have a big property in the tier 1 or tier 2 cities. The tier 3, 4, 5 cities, 6, 7, 8 cities also, we have lots of people. Because as mentioned, China have 1.4 million people, and we already have 1.4 billion, and we already have 1 billion mobile users, and they are very activity. And like Pinduoduo, which it's a startup company, and which just started 2 years ago and go public already. And this company, is just focused on the 3-4 cities. So China have huge populations, and if you want to go to China, you can have your own segmentation, right? Which segment you want to target. We're huge. Okay,
yes. So she is mentioning something very important, because China, the big difference between China and Israel. And in China, very different between the first tier and the second tier, third tier, fourth tier cities.
Yeah,
so
totally different.
Yeah.
Yeah, so before, lots of people, going to China, they want to focus on tier 1, tier 2 city to sell their product. But for now, I think you guys can think more. You guys can dive into and to look into like lots of people in the town, in the countryside, or very small, the cities. Yeah.
Okay, so let's move to Eric from also from WebEye. Eric is CTO and co-founder of WebEye, and his partner Leo just made a keynote on what they are doing. So why don't you give a self-introduction about your responsibility and your role?
I'm Eric from WebEye, and I'm responsible for the R&D team. And WebEye is a tech-driven company founded in 2015. We have 250 employees, with 17% of our employees be engineers. At the very beginning, we implemented a strategic approach, as live data powers everything we do. So we use big data and machine learning technology to help us improve the operational efficiency and help us realize the revenue growth. And actually, it's our third time to be here. and it's very honored to be here. And since the establishment of since Huawei was establishment, it has got assistance from many Israel companies. To be honest, Huawei didn't receive so much capital support at the early age of its business. Instead, it's mainly relied on the in-depth cooperation with some other Israel companies, such as Iron Source and Topeka. In 2018, the revenue of Huawei has reached over $100 million, with 15% of the revenue coming from the Israel market.
15
15% of the revenue
from
the Israel.
Israel.
Yeah. So Huawei is grateful to the partners here, and Huawei will stay close with the partners and the customers, and letting them understand us better and finding new partnership opportunities here. Yeah.
Okay, he mentioned something very important. So $100 million as a total revenue, and 15%, which is 15 million revenue from corporation, Israeli corporation. So I would ask DDApp team go outside and call people outside back, because to avoid missing millions of dollar opportunities. Very important, the last session of the conference. Okay, let's move back to June. Apple's group. So you give a short presentation about what Apple's doing. I remember some key numbers: 1.4 billion users, and you are focusing more and more on ecosystem. Not only user acquisitions, cloud, business, something like that. So I also understand another purpose for you to be here is about investment opportunities. Could you share more about this? For example, what are the typical companies you are looking for, and what did you do in the past?
Well, try to save some time, right? Because everybody is starved. Yes, that's my answer. Now, two things. The first one is that I totally obviously agree with our friends here. The first thing is that we really want to draw everybody's attention is that instead of going to compete with a lot of very severe competition in the mature market, why not we just move our attention to where those so-called tier 2 or tier 3 market. Actually, that's where Apas has done pretty good job there, and we can assure you that there's a huge bunch of business opportunity there, because the users there was quite huge, and also they are dying for a lot of healthy, high efficient, and stabilized and more safe kind of business opportunities to squeeze from their smartphones. And the second one is that instead of putting your efforts into a lot of cutting edge technology about fancy stuff, why not we just focus on our ecosystem establishment, because that's where the users requested. That's what they want. That's what the technology is aimed to be developed. It's not like for the sake of technology. So take Apas, for instance, is that we are not trying to do everything. We just selectively to do something that suitable for the first adopter from the feature phone to the smartphone. And then that's why we are here to seek more advanced technology to move on how to build the ecosystem together and to build our platform more solid so that the users will be more kind of accepted to our technology and products as well, instead of we feed them with anything like past. And the second thing is that just Yijun mentioned, we're here more open to build our platform and ecosystem with you guys in three parts. The first one is that if you are already been very successful in some kind of application, or no matter it's content or service, or even the same thing we have done, like systematic tools, we welcome, because there's no, we are the perfect user system, not the best user system. So we can make our system better. That is one thing. The second category we are looking at is the technology. Okay, whether you have, especially focused on the AI and the big data and the cloud, that's more welcome. To that, I can add to you just to mention, if you want to know more about what the tier 2 or tier 3 cities, what the user's behavior, we can give you a lot of data, okay? And we have a whole bunch of user behavior and portfolio, and when did they get up, and where they go to for the online shopping, and what kinds of the auto service they are requested daily, and those kind of scenario we can open for discussion. And last but not least, we are focusing on the advertisement partners, like what we see here, and even for the Taboola, we have been 3 years of a partnership, and also it's not like maybe the investments, more like a long-term strategic partnership. Yeah.
So about investment, content, applications, or technology, or security, cloud computing, all these are part of your investment interest. So what I understand about usually people behavior is they are very direct. So they want to know something more concrete. So following their way, I will ask you one further question about investment opportunity. For example, so what kind of stage of startups you are looking for? What kind of amount per deal you may put? It's $500,000 or around a few $1 million. It's very different, right? So I try to be as concrete as possible, okay? And also, can you give? In the past few days, a few Israeli people asked me the same question. So you are telling me Chinese companies are looking for investment opportunities, but what I heard about China is related to currency regulation. So very hard to get money out of China. So how can you invest in our Israeli companies? So it's also a question for you. How can you get money out of China, invest in Israeli companies?
Yeah, you're more direct than our users. Our users only ask our system, not just directly face-to-face. Anyway, 3 questions, 3 answers. The first one is that Abbas, we more likely in a little bit earlier stage about investment, like angel, pre-A, B, something like that, because that part of things we can see more clear about technology and the future, instead of we don't want to make money like only for the sake of capital. So we more like in the early stage. And if you talk about the amount, is that it's a little bit hard to say. Like
maybe giving an example.
Exactly, that's what I'm talking about. I mean, just the two instances. Okay, the first one is that we have made a investment, not acquisition, to a company called Zoomy. I don't know ever you heard of that. ZOOMY. That is a Chinese company that is focused on the advertisement distribution. Maybe a little bit close to our friends there. That deal is like about $1 million US because that is made by RMB. Comparatively speaking, it's a little bit kind of small investment to us. And recently we just spent several million US to acquire one company. It's from Germany that is focusing on the browser, the development. So it's we ourselves, APAS we have APAS browser. But why we want to acquire this company because he has some or this browser has more technology based like artificial intelligence or something like that, very special. And also they have already like more than 10 million users in the European market. So that's why I'm telling you is that this instance is we don't have really kind of limits in the investment, but we more like direction. Like I said, the more you have the advanced technology, or you can become the partner with us to better our ecosystem, that's more welcome. The last question is, I think that's our APAS, yes, the advantage, because every dollar of income of APAS is from outside China. So that makes us very easy to make the investment because, of course, there is a regulation about the foreign currency in China, but to us, because our income is coming from outside China, so we just live there and make the investment. That's it. That's more convenient. Yeah. Thank you.
So your user base from outside China and your money, your revenue from outside China. This is why.
Exactly. Yeah.
So don't worry about currency regulation.
Yeah.
Okay. So Eric, you mentioned it's the third time for you to be in Israel and already strong business relation with quite a few Israeli companies. I also saw some friend from Teptica.
Yes.
Teptica still there? Yeah, not only one team, Teptica team. So it's an example for web business relation here. So can you tell me? Can you tell us more about why you are here again? So I also understand that your partner Leo maybe even more for him to come to Israel. So why you come more often to Israel, and what is your? Do you have any concrete plan here in Israel, doing more business with Israel?
Yeah, actually this question I have mentioned previously, and actually we got lots of assistance from the Israel companies, especially on the early stage. So we are grateful to the partners here, and we want to let them know better about us and find more opportunities to cooperate with each other and to grow with each other. And in 2019, we will continue our advertising business with both demand side and supply side partners. And also, we are planning to build up a content-based social network product with global coverage. And we are willing to find the opportunities with different partners here for user acquisition, monetization, and any other areas of this product. And also, we are, because we are a data-driven company, we will improve our data platform as well and make a better use of our data systems and realize the full value of the data. Thank you.
So again, previously I mentioned the number of revenue from Israel. So so considering China's speed, China growth, yeah, so we could imagine, we hope more business this year in Israel. Again, Shen. So here in Israel, we often talk about two models, China business models, China in, which is doing business in domestic China market, and the China out, which is helping China companies promoting in global market. And Emobi, as a company headquartered in started from India,
Yeah, Bangalore.
Bangalore, which is one of the few international companies making big success, international marketing technology companies making big success in China. So could you share a bit more about experience, about lessons that you learned in the past few years, so that maybe in our audience some companies starting their aggressive China strategy now?
Yeah, so I think for our China story, I think it truly we're very lucky. We entered the China market 7 years back, and Emobi started from 10 years back. So Navi is our founder, and he decided we should enter China and we should win in China. So we hiring Jessie. Jessie is from McKinsey before, and she is our general manager. And you know, one thing I think is most important thing is localization. So what we call localization is not just a strategic localization; it's product localization. So before, when I just joined the Emobi for the first 2 years, you know, every product has come from from Bangalore and maybe already successful in US, and then they want to expand to China. So we always do the thing is go to market strategy in that way. But you know, for those 2 and 3 years, everything is based on our China requirements. So we have indicated product manager for our China. We have indicated engineering team for China. So we have all the smart guys to only work for China, and then we have China things happened. So I think for this one is quite important because in China, like Tencent, Toutiao, right? The domestic companies they run very fast, very hard to catch up sometimes. So we faced that. Innovation from the center team is very important, and then they bring their product, which is focused on China. So that is how we win. And like last year we acquired 2 companies. One is Alserve, another one is Pinsight. So for Alserve, is for their head reading is quite a success in US. So we acquired a company who have the top technology. And another one is Pinsight, who owns the data. So for this year, we are still looking for the company which can get benefit for Data Cloud or Martech. And also, we were thinking from China perspective. So first, satisfy China requirements.
So maybe opportunity for Israeli company as well in terms of acquisition. So Emobi is looking globally this kind of opportunity.
Yes,
right?
yes.
And he also shared experience about local Indian companies localization in China, right?
Yes.
Product localization, team localization, especially team using local Chinese people competing with Chinese local partners. So basically, she was saying, if any one of you want to go to China, you should find a talent like Shen to build up your strong local team. Yes. So I was.